Hey there, I'm Johnny Rod. That's what my friends call me. I started ifishclub to help people get started fishing. To help people decide what fishing rod to buy. Help people learn how to tie knots, how to cast, and just some of the basics about fishing. I grew up in Southern California, and I've been fishing since I was 10. I'm 57 now, so I got 47 years of vast fishing experience. In Southern California, we have streams with trout in it, we have lakes with trout in it, we have lakes with bass, bluegill, crappie, white bass. We have an ocean it's incredible. The fishing we have in Southern California is amazing. And what's always intrigued me is how you can try to fool a fish in so many different ways. I mean, aside from just fishing with live bait, we got lures galore. There's an octopus. Kind of cool, huh? Here's a jig that we fish for rockfish with too. Here's what we call a jig for bluefin tuna or yellowtail. We call it iron. We fish iron in Southern California. It's a big deal. You got guys that's all they do is fish iron. Catch calico bass, yellowtail, tuna. And then you jump into the freshwater. In the freshwater, you know, you got crappie jigs. You got little spinners for trout, fishies and streams. That thing spins. Not very well this morning. It's having issues. Frog bait. Fish cheese right on top for bass. It's imitation frog. You can actually fish with a frog. Go catch a frog, put them on your hook, throw them in. I've caught trout up in our mountains on frogs, little albino frogs. I'd have never thought to fish for a trout with a frog. But I went up there, I hiked way up this mountain, and they wouldn't eat the night crawlers I brought. They wouldn't eat the worms. They wouldn't eat anything. So I started looking around on the ground, found these albino frogs. Put one on my hook, threw it in, bam! The trout loved them. I was just shocked because I didn't think you could catch I didn't think you could catch a trout on a frog. Not ever. Worms for bass. Jigs for bass. This one's supposed to be a little bluegill. Imitation bluegill. That's why I like fishing. And then you got all sorts of live bait you can use. Here's some fish I caught. Got a big old bass I caught in Lake Cetus on a live shad. Got a Dorado out in the ocean. Probably caught him on a sardine. Looks like somebody shot him in the head. There's a white bass up in Lake Nacimiento. So this is the variety we got down here. I'm a kid up in the Sierras with a whole bunch of trout. One of my best buddies. Killed him that day. Big old salmon I caught in Washington State. I think it was a yellowfin tuna on light tackle. Here's a yellowfin. That was a beautiful picture, eh? A couple of yellowtail on iron I just showed you. There's a bass. There's a bluefin. Caught him on a little swim jig. It's so dynamic, the things you can do. There's some red rockfish we catch. Those are beautiful and they're just great to eat. They'll eat that jig I showed you, that purple jig. Look at that big old bluefin. He ate a jig too. He ate that iron. Big old blue and chrome iron. So you see, there's just so, look at this guy, this is a sheephead. These guys start out as male and turn into female, believe it or not. Kind of like Bruce Jenner. There's some trout, bass. Here's a lingcod. That's what a lingcod looks like. Caught that guy on light tackle. There you go. There's another red. He ate that red jig I just showed you. Anyway, that's why I like fishing. There's just so many varieties and so many different ways you can catch fish. It's just fantastic. I love it. So in my program, ifishclub, I want to get you started. I want to get you to get the right tackle, right lures, the right presentation, etc. This is about an 8-part series. Part 1, rod and reel selection. Part 2, different types of lines. Part 3, the way you're going to tie these rigs together with the hooks, the sinkers, what have you. Maybe you had a couple of knots too in the fishing line part. Then we're going to get on the water and show you some casting techniques. And then finally, towards the last episode, episode 7 or 8, I'm going to show you how to clean a fish 2 ways. Gill and gut and fillet. You'll mostly fillet your fish, but if you get a little tiny bluegill, they're kind of hard to fillet. So we chop their heads off and we cook them each side. And that'll get you through square 0 to square 1 to square 2. I don't know anything to, hey, I'm getting bit and I'm catching fish. How's that sound? Okay, episode 1 is next, rod and reel selection. I'm Johnny Rod, and this is ifishclub. You can come on to Facebook and find my channel on either YouTube or Facebook and just come join. Come join the club, ask questions, let me help you get started catching fish. That's it. Alright, see you in the next episode.